Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whatever sort of time zone you guys have decided to watch in. Welcome back to the Nerdic Pro podcast. My name is, as per usual, Bobby Salastar, and currently with me, joining me on the line, is the newly crowned Allied Independent Wrestling Federation's AIWF World Television Champion, the one and only Jax N Saine. Jax, how are we doing?
Doing good. How are you?
Yeah, not bad, thanks. Yeah, I just want to start off by saying that that's a very nice looking belt that you have there. Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you on. So, yeah, how are we doing?
I'm doing all right. Just got done killing a few chickens before supper and just hanging around after that.
Nice, nice. So, sort of going on to sort of going straight into the deep end, shall we say? The ARWF World Television Championship. Who was the victim that you had to defeat to become the ARWF World Television Champion?
That would be your dear old Kevin Phoenix. And not only did I defeat him, but I drove him absolutely mad, drug his corpse off, and left his shoes in the ring.
If Kevin Phoenix were to come to you very soon, say at an ARWF Mid Atlantic or any other territory of the ARWF, would Kevin Phoenix, in your books, be allowed to have a rematch for the TV title?
And that opens another question. Where is Kevin Phoenix? Because when I beat him, I drug him out of that ring and hauled him off. No one knows where he is. He's somewhere secret, but I won't tell yet.
Mm, sweet. So, sort of talk us through the sort of deepest, darkest depths of where it is you've come from to first get involved within the world of professional wrestling.
Well, I would have to say that it all started when I was a wee little lad, growing up under my drunken father, who watched wrestling religiously and beat me every time his favorite guy lost. So in return, I will beat everyone else's favorite guy like my daddy did me.
Mm.
Easy.
Okay, so where did you first get started when it comes to professional wrestling? Like, where was the first moment that you had where you creeped up from the deepest, darkest depths from, I presume, parts unknown?
Yes, I come from the way backwoods of North Carolina. And we actually got hit by a hurricane here recently, and it didn't kill me. Just like Kevin Phoenix couldn't beat me either for the AIWF Television Championship. But we come from the backwoods of North Carolina like cockroaches, and I slithered my way to Spartanburg about 8 years ago. That's where I started.
So, who was your first victim of Jax N Saine?
Hmm, that area is a little fuzzy. Um, I don't know who my first victim was, But my favorite victim would have to be Devin Cruz.
Nice. So, sort of, just explain to me what has happened to get to your current, for lack of a better word, state, shall we say, of Jax N Saine. What has happened?
Lots and lots of head injuries because I like to throw my head around a little bit. My mom always told me to use my head, but I never knew what she meant until I actually hit somebody with it. And it kind of knocked some sense into me. And, well, I guess I hit a little hard a few times, and it just brought the real me out over the years.
Okay. So would you see yourself more of a hardcore sort of style, John Wayne Murdoch, Nick Cage, etc., sort of style of professional wrestling, or would you say that you're more of a family-friendly sort of style of hardcore?
Oh, yes, I love families. I love scaring the absolute crap out of kids. I love families. And so does my wife. We have a family of our own. And we actually want to introduce you to one of our little ones right here.
Ooh. Oh, okay.
But yeah, no, I don't see myself as a hardcore or death match wrestler. I actually despise death match wrestling because they're not creative enough. So using a weapon to purposely hurt somebody, to injure somebody out of commission, it's just too easy. Why not do it the hard way? Why not do it the Bruiser Brody way and just beat and break every bone in their body and watch them squirm away, or at least try to.
So, speaking of the late great Bruiser Brody, had he have still been around today, would you have liked him to have been a victim of yours?
Coming from the heart, I wouldn't want Bruiser Brody to go through what I put everyone else through. But I would absolutely love if he showed me some of the ways that he put people through pain and suffering.
So, I mean, is there anyone who's sort of similar to Jax N Saine, or would you say that you're one in a million, as they say, when it comes to the characteristics of yourself?
I would say there are some similarities with other people, and there's some people who tried to copy me, if you can believe it. Because I've been around a little longer than some of the newer so-called monsters out there. And for the record, I am not a monster. People just don't understand my ways. But I would say I'm at least a 1 in 100. Because there's always at least one person out there that came up with the same idea probably around the same time I did, without knowing either one of us existed.
Jimmy Valiant, Boogie Woogie Man.
Legendary Boogie Woogie Man.
Wait a minute, baby. Wait a minute. Hang on.
What are you doing around
What was that calling you, buddy?
This is our neighborhood.
You done made a mistake.
You should be retired, Boogie.
Wait a minute, boys. Let me take a bite of my king dog.
You say king dog?
King dog?
Is that what you said?
Don't let hunger bully you. Get yourself a king dog, and you too can become a super hunger fighter.
So, speaking of sort of recent bits and pieces, you've obviously recently defeated Kevin Phoenix for the ARWF World TV title. What sort of companies, matches, etc., victims have been the victim of yourself recently, and who could we expect to see coming up fall to the hands of Jax N Saine?
Well, I will put it this way. This year has been a very busy year of claiming victims and claiming titles. Because not only have I won the AIWF Television Championship, but I am also the two-time CPW champion and the 2024 winner of the Haliasco Memorial Tournament. So this year I have claimed many lives, made many children cry, and have claimed 3 different titles alongside my dear wife.
Do you expect to lose any of these anytime soon?
Absolutely not.
Well, okay, so have you got any defences of any of those coming up anytime soon, whether it be between now and the new year or to begin with in the new year?
As of right now, I do not have any dates set, except for AIWF, which will be March 1st.
Mm-hmm. Is that the 30th year show? Is that?
I believe so.
Yeah, in Greensboro, I believe. And yeah, so coming from a British perspective like myself, if the opportunity ever arose for yourself, would you ever travel to this side of the pond? Like, unless you already have, would you ever travel to this side of the pond yourself and your wife come over here to claim the lives of some British-based professional wrestlers?
We would absolutely love to, if we can get through airport security. I don't think they would really like us too much.
Well, we have got ARWF members over here. You know, you've had Barrett Brown, the now former cruiserweight champion, defend the cruiserweight title over here back in September for BEW down in Mitcham in London. So maybe that could be a potential for yourself to get over here for any other company. So is there anyone out there in particular who you have not come face to face with yet, who you would like to claim the life of?
Yes. One that has been a mentor of mine for years, but I've never had the opportunity to share the ring with him. And that would be AEW's JD Drake.
Just nice.
The thought of both of us just colliding into the ring, just slapping the meat off of each other's chest. Sounds so much fun.
Yeah. So, I see the snake. I assume the snake in the background. Is there any particular reason why you both have the snake as a...
I'll let you answer this question.
Well, with me, I've always had a fascination with snakes. And I thought, well, why not? Why not incorporate it give it the love and the attention that it needs. Because, I mean, aren't they just beautiful?
Me personally, I have a massive phobia of snakes, but yeah, you know. So, do you ever use it to your advantage when it comes to matches?
Oh, yeah. All the time.
Mm-hmm. Does it ever work out successfully?
Well, it did this time.
That time, yes. There's been a few complications with some, but other than that, it's been working fairly in our favor.
Nice one. Yeah, well, as long as it sort of helps you win titles as well, especially in an organisation like the ARWF, then, you know, by any means necessary, then happy days. So, what sort of bits and pieces or notable victims, notable matches, notable bits and pieces have you guys been a part of throughout the years?
I'd say before she joined me, I would say one that was very notable to me was wrestling against and almost breaking the leg of ECW original Chris Hamrick.
Okay.
And together, I don't know, what would you say?
I've not had the pleasure yet.
I would say together, I don't know, we haven't really claimed any big people, as they call them, together. But me alone, before she joined me, like I said, I wrestled against ECW original Chris Hamrick. I've been on Impact Plus 3 times, and without anyone knowing or seeing me, I was part of Ring of Honor security once.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah. So, if I don't know, maybe a Tony Khan, whoever it is at TNA or Impact, whatever they call themselves nowadays, or even WWE, etc., or one of the bigger companies were to attempt to approach yourself to go onto a mainstream sort of media presence, would that ever be an option?
As of right now, no.
No?
As of right now, like right now, no. And probably for the next few years, it'll probably be a no. Unless it is Impact, because their schedule is kind of not so bad, and I mean, they will kind of let me do whatever I want. But the others, I believe, will try to control our characters, and especially the violence, a little more.
When it comes to sort of like a violence sort of persona, you've got obviously companies out in the States such as ICW, No Holds Barred, you've got CZW, GCW. I know that you've said that you're not that much of a sort of deathmatch sort of style, but if you were to ever sort of get into a more sort of chaotic sort of company, would working for a company like Game Changer Wrestling, Combat Zone Wrestling, etc., ever be an option either?
I would say yes. But like I said before, I choose creativity over weapons.
Secondhand Heroes and Home for Wayward Villains is a comic book shop and gaming store that also features Magic the Gathering and D&D. Located at 18184 Leesville Road in Evington, Virginia, Secondhand Heroes is your one-stop shop for you to get your nerd on. Open 7 days a week at 11 a.m., they don't close until the dice stop rolling. They buy, sell, trade, barter, and haggle, specializing in collectible toys, both vintage and modern, comics, Magic the Gathering, video games, console, and arcade cabinets to play, all set to free play. Host your game night with us. Monday night D&D video game competitions, and so much more. Something for the collector and gamer in us all. Call 434-317-0121 or shoot us an email with any questions to secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. Note, secondhandheroesva@gmail.com. That's 2ND, handheroesva@gmail.com. Come game with us.
So, when it comes to sort of where the viewers of this podcast can catch yourselves very, very soon, between now and whenever, where can people expect to catch you guys in the near future?
Definitely AIWF in the Mount Airy area of North Carolina. CPW or AWL in the Union, South Carolina area. And we might be going back to our old stomping grounds of Greenville, South Carolina next year. But I cannot say with who. I will just leave it at that.
Okay. Yeah. So, is there anything that you've not achieved as such, anywhere you've not been, anyone you've not wrestled, anyone that you've not claimed, or just anything in general when it comes to wrestling that you would like to do that you've not done yet?
I would still like to work for a major company, at least before I retire for good. At least once. It doesn't even have to be with a contract. Just one match. I would say that's probably it. Because if I had my dream match, it would have been with Bray Wyatt or Kane. And neither one of those look like it's going to happen. Because Bray Wyatt's kind of dead. But,
yeah. God rest his soul. Yeah. So, is there anyone in particular, past, present, and upcoming talent who you've seen on the circuit somewhere who you would like to claim, shall we say?
That's a toughie. Because there's a lot of good guys out there. A lot of good wrestlers. Both male and female. There's a lot of good ones. I would say one that I would absolutely die to get in the ring with would probably be Mark Briscoe.
Yeah.
That would be one. But as for another indie guy on my level, or at least one that works around the same shows as I do, I would probably have to say Drew Hood. We have never had a singles match. Ever.
Is there anything about Drew that you happen to like? Like, would you say that you're sort of similar characteristics, similar sort of in-ring personas, if you know what I mean?
Absolutely not. He's the complete opposite. He likes to run his mouth, be a buffed up pretty boy, and wrestle the entertainment way. And I stand against it. I like the old way, the way of making your opponent scream in pain. And it doesn't matter how you look, as long as you're bloody. You're the best looking guy out there.
Mm. So, I must say that it's definitely Jax N Saine is definitely a more sort of different sort of person to who I normally tend to see wherever it be local or national or international. Um, is there any sort of way that you would describe yourself or like the duo of yourself and your wife just in general?
I would have to describe myself as just being a absolute wild card. I mean, I don't even know what I'm gonna do next. I don't even know what I'm gonna say next. I just kind of just do what feels good, or sometimes what really doesn't feel good. I'm not afraid to hurt myself. If you have caught on yet or not, but she keeps me calm. She makes sure I don't kill anybody because I get carried away at times. She makes sure I stay focused because sometimes the referee reminds me of my dad trying to boss me around and tell me what to do. Just drives me simply bonkers! Sorry. Just, we just really help each other in a way that other wrestling couples don't, if you know what I mean.
Do you need to take a breather, take a sip of water or something?
No, I'm good. I'm all good up here.
Sweet. So, for anyone listening to this podcast that may never have heard of Jax N Saine previously, what would be the best way to look up your matches or follow you on any sorts of social media if they'd like to continue following Jax N Saine, if this is the first encounter that they're having with yourself?
Well, if you want to find out more, you can follow me on Facebook. Surprisingly, I have one. I'm surprised they actually let me on there. They let me post some of the things I do. But I'm on Facebook. I'm also on TikTok. I have an Instagram, but I don't use it. But if you want to follow it, you can. And I post every match that I can on YouTube. Now, recently, I didn't post the one where I beat the living hell out of Kevin Phoenix, but I did post the recent cage match I had against Sin Crowley. And man, let me tell you, when your brain juice starts flowing out of your forehead, it ain't like nothing else. It's so exhilarating.
Nice. Yeah. So I do also know that some of your matches are also on the ARWF Network YouTube channel / the ARWF Ringside Wrestling YouTube channel as well, like amongst many other thousands of videos that are on both channels. So yeah. So have you got anything to add on to today by chance?
I don't believe so. But I will leave everybody with one thing. Sometimes you think the real monsters are the ones that look like me. We're all freaky looking. We wear masks. Sometimes we spit out blood or fire. But we're not the real monsters. If you look really deep in that mirror, you're just like all of us. You just don't realize it yet. But I can help you get there. Just use your head like I did.
Sweet. So, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast, thank you all very much for watching live. I don't think I've been more petrified, shall we say, to conduct an interview in the 4 years that I've been podcasting now and conducting interviews. I don't think I've been more petrified in my life, shall we say. But yeah, sort of the perks of the job, shall we say. But yeah, so with me on the line has been the wife and the man, the creature, whatever, of Jax N Saine, as well as the snake. So, yeah, so this podcast will very soon be up on the ARWF network as per our friendship with the ARWF. With me on the line has been the ARWF, the newly crowned ARWF World Television Champion, Jax N Saine. Don't forget, next Monday is the 300th episode of the Nerdic Pro podcast. Stay tuned in for that. So yeah, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the Nerdic Pro podcast, thank you all very much for watching live. Jax, it's been a pleasure. Thank you very much for coming on. And yeah, ladies and gentlemen, I shall be seeing you all later. Goodbye.